I almost started recording before I turned my microphone on. That would have been bad, because there would have been no sound. Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. I am Britt, and if you haven't subscribed yet, you probably should, because I talk about geeky things, and today we're going to do an anime video, because it's been a while, and I ran a poll on my Twitter. Follow me, same as my YouTube name, just at Britt Hallett. What kind of geeky video you guys wanted to see next, and all of them got votes, so obviously people want all kinds of different things, but anime and Disney, they both tied, so I decided to do an anime video since I haven't done a real one in a really long time, and next will just be Disney, and then we'll go back, jump back into Power Rangers, and by then I should be able to do my rant out of Love on Turbo. So hey, there you go. Anyway, so today, as you see from the title, we're going to be talking about my top 10 favorite anime dubs of all time. These are all ones I tried to state with the ones that I own so I could show the box sets. That and the stuff that I own is really the only stuff that I've really watched super recently. One of them actually I haven't watched in a very long time for multiple reasons, and when I say it, and if you understand kind of some of the issues going on around the community, you might understand why I can't stomach that show anymore, but I can't deny it's a good dub. So there we have it. Also, I know that there's like this big debate, sub versus dub. It doesn't matter to me. I do tend to watch dubs first if I can, just because obviously English is my first language. Therefore, I understand the story a little bit better, a little bit easier if it's in my own natural language first. But there have been some that I've jumped over and watched the sub for, and actually the first one we're going to talk about, I like the dub and the sub equally, so it really doesn't matter which one I turn on, quite frankly. So, and I promise, because I know those of you who've been around for a long time know that my preference is definitely Vancouver dubs, and there are definitely a few, but they're not all Vancouver dubs, okay? I do promise they are not all Vancouver dubs. I think I hit every like major dubbing studio, like every major dubbing location, actually, except for Blue Water. Screw Blue Water. Anyway, let's get started. So number 10 on my list is the Inuyasha dub. So this is the one that I like the sub and the dub very equally. I've watched both. I think the sub is incredible, and doesn't matter which one I turn on. And specifically Feudal Fairy Tale, because I do prefer David Kaye, though the recasting for Sesshomaru was almost perfect. And then I also do prefer Monica Story as Kagome as well. And Kira Tozer did a great job, but quite frankly, I just tried and true. I don't like recastings. Okay, thanks, bye. But yeah, I think this is a very substantial dub. I think it's amazing. I mean, there are definitely better dubs, obviously, but I think that this one was cast very well. I think each actor really was the right fit. I couldn't imagine anybody else playing these characters. I couldn't imagine any of the other actors being in any, like, I can't imagine Kurimaru playing Inuyasha. You know, I can't imagine Richard Ian Cox playing Moroku. And that's what I'm really basing all of these on, is, like, how I feel like the casting was done, how I feel like the overall acting was. Because the thing with voiceover is sometimes you end up with somebody who is not great at voiceover work, or it's very early in their career, and you feel like some things fall a little flat, and very few things I felt like fell flat in the Inuyasha dub. Obviously some things fell a little flat, because it was obviously such a big series with so many characters that obviously they had to incorporate some newer talent into the show. But when it came to the main cast, this was beautiful. Also, I am just in love with Paul Dobson's voice. I mean, at the end of the day, I actually almost grabbed Shakugan no Shana also for literally the same reason. Number 9 on my list is the Full Metal Alchemist dub. I will be honest, I've not seen Brotherhood dubbed at all. I actually never finished Brotherhood personally. I didn't like how quickly they rushed through the stuff that was the same in the original. And I have the movie, even though I'm not a big fan of the movie, Conqueror of Shambhala, because I don't actually own anything other than this, Full Metal Alchemist. So this one is the one that I can't really watch anymore, unfortunately. It's an amazing dub. I thought it was done very well. Definitely the best dub that I've ever seen come out of Funimation, personally. I haven't seen a ton recently, so there's probably more even better ones these days, but probably the best dub to come out of Funimation. I think that The characterization was amazing. I think every character was placed absolutely beautifully and perfectly. And this is a situation where with Brotherhood I understand the recasting and it's fine because, you know, Aaron Dismuke grew up. But yeah, I think this is an incredible dub. I just have trouble watching it these days. Still good. But yeah, I think that like again, just like I said with Inuyasha, I couldn't imagine anybody else playing these roles. Like even if I took my favorite voice actors from Vancouver and tried to place them in these roles, I would have trouble hearing anybody else. I think that these roles were just beautifully cast, and I just think that it's an incredible dub. So there you go. This one I actually kind of debate on a little bit just because some of the main cast, you can tell that it's very early in their careers, which is kind of a bummer. But I think the majority of the dub is stupendous. So that is Death Note. My only gripes, I think, with this particular dub was Misa, and not that I don't like her voice actress, but I feel like it was very early in her career for her to have such a substantial role, but I think she did very well with the tools that she had at the time. She's definitely grown, and she grew throughout the course of this dub, which I definitely appreciate a lot, but I think that anybody else in that role would not have worked knowing the voice cast in Vancouver. You know, Monica Story would have done pretty well. I don't remember when she stopped voice acting, along with, I think, Kira Tozer would have done well. But at the same time, I think that it would have been a very different Misa, and I think that Shannon brought something really cool to the character. Like I said, she eventually grew with it, and I think that she did very well towards the end. I just think the beginning was a little flatter than it probably needed to be, but I think that all in all, she did a great job. But again, I can't imagine anybody else in any of these roles, and I am only sad that Kirby didn't get enough to talk about. He just kept yelling delete all the time, which I mean is fine too, but yeah, I absolutely love this dub. This is one of the ones that I just can't bring myself to switch to the subtitled version. I think I've seen a little bit of it subtitled, but I miss this cast too much to ever, and you'll kind of understand that as I keep going, like as I get a little further down the list, you'll hear me be like, I can't even think about watching the sub because I just would miss this cast too much. And this is one of those ones I would just miss this cast way too much. But yeah, I think Death Note is an amazing dub and I love it. So this director is going to pop up a lot. Just saying. And if you guys know anything about my love for dubs, you'll know which director I'm talking about. But number 7 is definitely Gundam Seed. So Gundam Seed is directed by my favorite voice director. James Corrigal is my favorite voice director. And I think that the majority of his dubs are incredible. There are some exceptions because screw Blue Water. Everybody makes mistakes. It's fine. But yeah, I think that Gundam Seed and Destiny, I guess, to an extent, because obviously it's all the same characters, same voice actors. I don't think there was any recastings in Destiny. But Seed, I think, is just a really cool dub. I think, again, everybody just did so well. They were all perfect for their roles. This is one that I have kind of switched back and forth just to kind of get an idea of the subtitled version of the original Japanese, just to see how much is the same and how much was different, because I know there are some directors out there that will pull voice sound, the voice sound, and try to emulate that with the character. So if the character is, or with the American actor, the English speaking actor. So for example, if the voice is really gruff, then they're going to find somebody who has a gruffer voice, that kind of thing. And so I like to sometimes compare, and I think that, I think this is just a stellar dub. And like I said, you're going to see James Corrigal a lot if you were not familiar with my love for James Corrigal. So, and there's a chance he knows how much I adore him now because, I've told people we mutually know how I feel about James Corrigal. Number 6 on my list, like I said, it's not all Vancouver, but a lot of it is. So Ranma. I shouldn't have grabbed this set, but I don't think I have the set that actually has the dub cast I prefer. I do prefer Richard Ian Cox as Ranma, which is not the case in the first one, so I do actually prefer that recasting, but I think that's because I first started watching Ranma with that voice, and that is generally what sticks out to me. So the Dragon Ball Z dub is really interesting for me, because a lot of you guys know that I prefer the Vancouver dub for Dragon Ball Z, That's not entirely true. So while Brian Drummond is my Vegeta, Kyle Hebert is my Gohan. Sorry, Brad. Because it switched when I was a kid. So I think that's mostly why I prefer Richard Ian Cox as Ranma, is because when I started watching Ranma, he was already the voice, and then I went back and watched it when I was a kid. I think this is a really stellar dub for the time it was dubbed in, because obviously it's a very old dub. And it's really interesting because you can usually tell when it's an older dub because the sound, because of the lip flaps and things like that, because they've perfected the technology over time. And I think for the time that this was dubbed, putting it into that perspective, I think that this was just a really stellar dub. It's not perfect and probably should be lower on the list, but I don't care because for the time, it was really well done and I really appreciate this dub. And I just really love Ranma 1/2. I mean, that's all there is to it. Number 5 on my list is Kaku Renbo. So this is a short anime film, but doesn't change how amazing the dub is. I watch it every Halloween. I have watched the sub, and it was actually the first time I ever watched Kaku Renbo, I think, and I was really disappointed because I watched it at a convention. And I wanted to watch it because Dan Green is in it, and I love Dan Green. And I was really disappointed when it was the sub, but then I was like, well, if that's all they're gonna show, that's fine. I'll just watch it, make sure I like it, and then I'll buy it and watch the dub. So I love this movie. It's so beautiful as well, but we're talking about the dub. And I think the dub was just beautifully done, but this dub was absolutely phenomenal. He and I talked about it actually when we first met in Youmacon 2009, and he gave me some really cool information about it, and I just think that it's so fun. I just love this dub. I think that it was just, even though it's such a short film, it's such a stellar dub, and it helps that all the actors in here are absolutely incredible. You got Dan Green, you got Mike Cinder-Nicholas, Veronica Taylor, just incredible New York voice actors that I think that are just amazing. So number 4 on my list is the Fafner dub. And I'm very sad I can't rewatch Fafner because I lost my first disc. I don't know where it is. I think I might know where it is. My dad just has to get it for me. Because it's in something that he owns. So I keep reminding him, hey, can you see if my Fafner dub is, or if my Fafner DVD is in there? This... I love this dub. LA dubs tend to be hit or miss with me. Fafner surprised the heck out of me. I was not anticipating this being so good. It's, again, a bit of an older dub. Not like super old, not like 90s old, but like early 2000s, I think, old. And honestly, I don't know where they were in the technology at that point. I'm pretty sure they were already doing the 3 beeps. But oh my god. I mean, it helps that Johnny Young Bosch is in this, and hi, I love Johnny Young Bosch. Have I made that clear? Because I love Power Rangers. I mean, not that that should mean anything, but he was a Power Ranger. And so I technically, so I literally just gotta seek out anything he ever does, and I usually just love whatever he does, and I love when he's in it. The only exception to that was Bleach, and that's just because I kind of lost interest. Doesn't change the fact that I do like that dub a lot. But like I said, LA dubs are kind of hit or miss with me, and so when I find one that I love, I fall deeply, madly in love with it, and it helps that I just love the series in general. But I think this is such a stellar dub, and I wish I could rewatch it. Number 3 on my list is actually the newest addition to my list, and that's Akame ga Kill. And I'm not just saying that because I'm friends with somebody on this dub. I mean, that's why I watched it. Akame ga Kill is honestly one of the only dubs, like the dubs itself, and the top 3 are all like this. So just understand that when I talk about these top 3, all of them are this way as well. Where the dub itself elicited, I guess Fafner too, elicited enough emotion in me that I actually needed a break from this. I've not actually finished it because the dub is so good that I feel what the characters are feeling. And as an actor and as a director, that's exactly what you want out of a show or a movie or whatever. Yeah, this is an incredible dub. I absolutely adore this dub so very much. This is also the first Sentai show I've seen because I've fallen out of watching new anime a lot. And so this is the first Sentai Filmworks I ever saw. And if all the dubs are like this, holy moly. Vancouver is going to be given a run for its money. Speaking of ocean dubs. So this is my favorite anime. And it's number 2 on my list for favorite dub, and only just because the dub that's on top of it, I think just had stronger casting in general. Another James Corrigal dub. This one, I need to rewatch it. I love this show. But this dub, I feel like just is flawless. I really can't think of something that is wrong with this dub, whether it is the casting, whether it is the direction, whether it is the writing, whether it is any of it. I think that this is pretty near flawless. I'm trying really hard to think. I know that there was one complaint I had in the movie. I don't remember what it is though, because it's been a long time since I've watched Awakening of the Trailblazer, but there was one complaint I had in the movie. And obviously I don't really care enough about it because I don't remember what that is. I don't remember what it is. I know there was a casting, because there wasn't enough made clear in the movie that the casting should have been the same person. Anyway, yeah, this dub is near perfect. And because of that, because I know I have that one complaint, is why it's number 2 on my list. But this is an incredible dub, and I absolutely love it. This is one of those ones that I would try the subtitle version. I know I've seen bits and pieces of the subtitle version, just because I know with Awakening of the Trailblazer, we showed it at Anime Detour back when I was like pretending to be staff, and Sari didn't want to get spoiled for Gundam 00. So she had me go in and count the heads for her, because she knew that I knew the end, because I had not seen the movie yet, but I had known. No, I had seen the movie. That's right, I had seen the movie, but I already knew what was going on. So she was like, "Can you just go in? Because I don't want to walk in and accidentally have a spoiler for the series." And I was like, "Sure." And that was being subtitled. And if you guys know anything about counting heads in video rooms, you kind of stick around for a few minutes just to make sure that people don't just walk in as you're counting, so you have the most accurate of count. But it was a mid-count, so it was halfway through the movie. So yeah, I love this dub. It's near perfect. It's such a good dub, you guys. James Corrigal, why are you so freaking talented? And the best part about it is he's so good at casting. No matter what, other than the Blue Water dubs, because screw Blue Water. I hate that they're attached to Ocean. Even if they're not on my top list, like Dakoita, for example, beautifully casted. I think that he's so good at picking the right actors for the right parts. And like, to the point that like the part had to have been, I know it wasn't, but like the part had to have been written for that particular actor. I just think that this was such a stellar dub, was such a stellar directed piece. Just everything about it was just incredible, and I love it. James Corrigal, stop being so talented. Can you guess what my number 1 is? It's another James Corrigal. Take a guess. Did you guess Black Lagoon? Because you were right. This is a flawless dub. I have literally no complaints about this dub. This was so beautifully acted. This was so beautifully casted. This was so beautifully written. This was so beautifully, just everything, directed, everything. The adaptation of the translation, just everything. Everything about this dub is absolutely stellar. And I will fight you if you say anything different. No, that's not true. Because obviously favorite anything is very, very personal and very, very based on just what you personally look for. And what I look for is just the best. Just as somebody who's been acting her whole life and as somebody who has directed, obviously not anime dubs, but still, I know my acting, I know my direction, and this is just incredibly flawless. Just everything about it. Brad Swale as Rock, and Mariki Hendrick as Revi, just, oh, it's so good. Everything about this dub is beautiful. The only thing that maybe I would say is just give Brian Drummond a larger role. He had a decent role. He had a great role. Like, I'm not complaining about it, but like, he had a main character role. I love how he had a main character role, and I'm still like, give him a better role, guys. Brian Drummond is just one of my favorite voice actors of all time, but so is Brad. And he has just done amazing work. As you can tell, he's in the majority of these Vancouver dubs. So Yeah, this is such a stellar dub. I have absolutely no complaints about this dub. None. Absolutely none. None really, at all. So there you guys have it, my top 10 favorite anime dubs. Let me know in the comments below whether you prefer dubs or subs, whether you don't care like me, or let me know your top 10 favorite anime dubs. Bonus points if you make a video and send it to me on Twitter, because I would love to see your beautiful faces talking about your favorite dubs. So let me know in the comments below those things, and I will see you all next week. Bye! So this is professional me. Hi, nice to meet you. I just came from a job interview. I do prefer Inuyasha. I mean, he played Inuyasha. I do